I'm going to throw together a little video of some footage that I took while I was down in Florida at Adam Booth's workplace. There's a bunch of clips, and it's not an organized thing. What I was doing is he was kind of walking around showing me the shop, Motion Industries. I was just filming some things that were kind of interest to me. It's kind of, if you're a follower of Adam, you know all about his shop behind his house. And I've only got one clip from that. And the clip is only of a storage thing that he uses for R8 Kolichucks to store tooling for his mill. But the one at Motion is, you've seen clips. He doesn't do it anymore because of management didn't want him spending the time filming him working instead of being what they thought was more productive, just working. I kind of, and I've never discussed this with him, but I kind of think that they probably get more in advertising than ever lost production from him. I mean, the guy's productive to begin with, more productive probably than a lot of people, even while he is filming. But it's just kind of a walk around the shop. It's sometimes you see the machines all the time, the lathes, the boring machine, but you kind of lose perspective of the size of the stuff that he works on sometimes, and it's just kind of fascinating to, while I was walking around finding out what this stuff was for. Now he does, they do a lot of work for the paper industry, paper mills, gear trains, gear drives, stuff for the paper mill industry. But one of the gear drive units was actually from one of the orange juice producers, and it was fascinating to me to see a gear drive from what I probably assume is an orange crusher to pulverize the oranges to extract juice out of. And it had like an 8-inch shaft on it, and I'm thinking, wow, how many oranges do you have to feed into this thing to require an 8-inch shaft to drive this thing? But sometimes not being involved in an industry, you kind of don't have insight as to how big things are or what is required to run that machinery. But so what I'm going to do is just throw together a couple of clips. And again, it's not an organized video. It's just clips that I shot as I was walking through it. We were kind of just doing it before we took the drill presses on and off his, or onto my trailer, off his trailer. So here it is, and I may interject some other things into it in between clips, but this is that boring machine that Adam uses all the time in his videos, or used to use in his videos, from his shop at Motion. Yeah, that thing is really big. I can't imagine. You know what John has is a radial arm drill.
They are fully disassembled, cleaned. I mean, every speck of it is cleaned to remove any contamination, and then any of the parts need to be replaced, like any of the bearings and the seals and shafts and sometimes gears. Anything that has to be replaced is replaced.
Now, what does this go to?
I know it's for a paper mill, but I don't know its purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's a vertical shaft right there. So you have that's your input.
Yep.
So you have an input there and output there, but I don't know what it does. These are for some trains. some trains that actually they restore them, and they don't use them for commercial purposes. They use them for other things. But
Right.
it's a gearbox that couples to a diesel engine.
Hmm.
And there's a couple of the parts that I shown that I had to make. The labyrinth, I showed a cover plate and a slinger ring that had to go, and it was for one of these units here. This is the one that's got to be line bored. That hole right there is a little out of spec.
What is this, an air assisted puller?
It's a hydraulic.
Oh, that's hydraulic?
It's a hydraulic puller. There's the power unit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you plug it in and hit the switch. Makes it a little easier
Yeah.
pulling that stuff off.
Yeah.
But you got to have trains and stuff to pick everything up and hold it.
If these gears were bad, would you repair them, or?
Sometimes, depending on the application, we can send them out. We have a couple sources. They do what they call a kiss grind, and they'll actually regrind them. Sometimes you just have to have a new gear because they'll be chipped or broken or damaged,
Right.
and you just have to replace them. So sometimes the manufacturer, we buy them from them, and in some cases we actually have them built. We don't do any gear manufacturing
So
ourselves.
if you guys are a follower of Adam Booth on YouTube, you've probably seen some of the stuff that's coming up where he's the knuckles that are on these shafts, where he's machined these knuckles and welded them back onto the shaft itself. Going to be talking about some of that, and you'll probably recognize some of the other stuff, the couplings that he had to bore out and stuff like that. So that's coming up right now.
There's a rod that goes with it there.
Stick weld?
Yep, stick weld. Stick welded the butt plate and eye on the end, but I TIG welded the fittings on there. This is where I was welding that fitting on. I had my ground clamp right there and it slipped off. That's what all this is.
Yeah.
The ground it slipped off and it's darkened. Right over here is the part that I made the other day. This rod eye right here.
Yeah.
It's 4-inch thick, plain cut, and then I do the machining on it. 3.5-inch 12 threads for the new rod that I showed you over there. And that's the piston for it. That's the stop tube.
Wow, it's amazing. The thing was bent, that's why you had to fabricate a new one.
Yeah, well, right here you can see something hit it. They jammed it up or something.
Yeah.
So the tube is dented right there and it's bent. So you might as well just start over.
So I told you it was Adam's workshop. Well, I did shoot one shot in his home shop, the shop behind his house. One of my pet peeves or obsession is storage and finding a place for things. And a lot of times in some videos that I've made like tool stands for the mills to hold the different spindle heads and stuff. One of the things that I saw in Adam's shop was a little stand behind his vertical mill, the Dual, and it held R8 collets and stuff. So I kind of took a shot of that. When I was at John Sanders' shop also, he had a little stand that he made for cuts or drops off of steel stock or aluminum stock, bar stock. Is one of the things that's hard to find or hard to do is know what to do with them drops, how to store them, where to store them, so that it's organized and you kind of know what you have. I'm not going to throw this in Adam's video, but things like that I'm always looking for ideas on how to store things, not only tooling but drop pieces that you cut off of material. But when you come back, you will see we will be in Adam's shop.
I like your, who built this? Did your dad or grandfather build this?
No, there was a guy that worked at the old shop. Whenever I first started, his name was Junior. He was the employee there at the time. Really cool guy. He put that together one day. He made that to help organize the collets and the drill chucks.
Yeah.
Things like that. I remember. I think it was slow, so he took an hour or so and put that together.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that the grinder holder, you know, I couldn't do that because it's on the wall away from where you're working. You know, you got to walk over it. I'm a kind of guy that I want to be able to reach for it.
Yeah.
So what I did is I had some 1/2-inch rod laying around, and I just welded a couple pieces on the legs, so you could set the grinders on it.
Right.
But then I was doing some work in my shop and I had a lift in there, my landlord's lift, and it was sitting beside the welding table, and what I would do is reach over and stick it on the lift. So what I ended up doing is taking something like that. I just used a piece of flat, 1/4-inch thick flat bar, about 6 inches wide, put it on a couple of legs and just sat it beside there. And so you put the grinders on it and you can pull it around to the other side of the table if you're working over there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen it where some guys actually just build a little rack on the table here.
Yeah.
And just have them all hanging right there.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make as much use of my wall space as I can for putting stuff on, so that worked great for my needs there. And I got that piece of Z-bar over there on the wall too, that all my C-clamps are on.
Now what's that drill press?
That's it.
So that's the ending of the visit with Adam. Again, I didn't really film a lot. If you're a subscriber of Adam's, you see his shop all the time. I mean, every Saturday night special has his shop included in it. You've probably seen everything in there. There was just a couple of things that I was interested in, storage things. As you probably heard me talking to him about the grinder racks that he was given that hold the right angle grinders on the wall. I built one that's a movable rack that you can set up next to the welding table or wherever you're welding, just to hold the grinders kind of in place, so they're always at an arm's reach away from you wherever you are. So and I was just talking about that with him. But what so that's the ending of the video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, again, it wasn't a really thorough video. It wasn't an interview with him or anything. It was just to kind of walk around his workplace and a little bit of his home shop. So hope you enjoyed. We'll be back for more videos.